This is episode 79 of the Battle of Ohio podcast. Thomas finally gets his wish as the Browns prepare to take the Lions on in a game that they desperately need to bounce back this week.
Yeah.
The Bengals are coming off their bye week and are also hoping to bounce back with a win over the floundering Raiders. And they desperately need this one because it's been looking a little weird lately.
Oh, that'd be fine. That'd be fine against them.
Quite possibly, but they need to show it. I think is the main thing. They need to show that they're going to be fine to, and I think this is the week to do it. But finally, Pittsburgh won't even be lucky enough to tie this week because why, Tom?
Because Pittsburgh sucks.
There you go.
You suck, Ben Roethlisberger, trying to come back from COVID. You still suck.
Welcome to the Battle of Ohio podcast, where we follow the revival of the historic rivalry between the Cincinnati Bengals and the Cleveland Browns.
We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that more on the state of the AFC North, but he might not play.
Well, Minka Fitzpatrick won't be playing. That's sure.
Yeah, that's pretty sure that's not going to be happening. But anyway, what are you drinking today, Thomas?
Today, I'm drinking some homemade tea. Ah, my God, it's so refreshing. Nothing like iced tea with a nice cold fall day. We got a full moon out tonight, y'all. Lunar
Drink
eclipse.
a lot of tea on this podcast.
Hell yeah, man! Tea's the world. Well, I'm also drinking a iced coffee from McDonald's. Caramel.
Disgusting.
It's horrible.
Disgusting. Awful.
Yep. There's a live look of Tom getting diabetes on this podcast.
I'm drinking a Fat Tire because the Bengals are going to give the Raiders a flat tire.
The New Belgium Fat Tire. It's a good beer.
That's one of my favorites, actually.
Really good beer.
It is. It's solid. I don't remember if I've had it on the show before, but if I haven't, it's mainly because I already consider it one of my favorite beers. So it's like I almost kind of I almost don't really even consider it a unique beer because it's one that I drink all the time.
Why is tea so refreshing? Like whoever invented tea, was it was tea invented in Asia? Shout out to y'all.
I don't know if it was invented in Asia. I mean, I think they may have been the first to cultivate it, but it's a plant.
Kind of like popcorn. Like popcorn wasn't invented in America; it was just cultivated in America.
I don't know anything about the history of popcorn.
Me neither, honestly. I'm just guessing. But shout out to the people who made popcorn and people who made tea thousands and thousands of years ago.
I personally, I'm not usually the biggest fan of tea. Like when I get sick, like especially with a sinus infection or a cold or something like that, suddenly tea becomes my favorite thing on the face of the planet. But like 90% of the time, I'm not a big fan of tea.
You ever wonder, in like 1,000 years, will people have like laptops in 1,000 years?
Will people have laptops in 1,000 years? Probably not. They'll probably have something like, I mean, the laptops today are just like an elevated version of like stone tablets, right? Just with a lot more capabilities and technology and stuff like that. But I'm sure there'll be something like laptops. They probably won't have actual laptops.
You think in the
they'll
future
probably call it something different, and it'll probably essentially be something different.
you think in 1,000 years they'll officially change the name of Pittsburgh to Shittsburg?
They should. I'm not sure if Pittsburgh will exist in 1,000 years, though. To be honest with you,
I think we want to exist. Well,
there's not a whole lot of cities that existed 1,000 years ago that still exist today. So I mean, we're talking about we're talking about 1021 AD. I mean, there's some, but a lot of cities that were around in 1021 AD are like piles of rubble by now.
I'm trying to think of some. Well, in Japan, I can think of a lot in Japan, obviously. But
I don't know anything about Japanese history from the turn of the last millennium. Like,
Yeah,
they were
man,
so
like
isolationist.
yeah, man, Tokyo, freaking Osaka, Kyoto, all those cities been around for thousands of years. This temple is very old.
Interesting.
Yeah, yeah,
Tune
yeah.
in for the next episode of the Battle of Ohio history class podcast.
Will we have football in 1,000 years? We may not.
We will not have football in 1,000 years.
No, we probably won't have football in 100 years.
I mean, I'm not sure we'll have the NFL in 100 years. I think we'll have football though.
I think we're in the prime, or we're entering the prime of the NFL or football. I think we're in the prime of it.
I don't know. I think we might have already had the prime of the NFL. I think we're starting to exit the prime of the NFL now. Actually,
That could be too.
I think the prime of the NFL was like the 90s and 2000s, really.
I mean, the last 10 years was amazing.
I mean, yeah, there was a lot of and it's this year has been really fascinating, but
This year's been
a lot
insane.
of crap too, like, the taunting rules and all that.
Well, the thing I like about this year is the diversity of the sport. This year is just the diversity of the sport is insane. Like, literally nobody. If you said you know who's come out of AFC this year, you're lying.
The Bengals.
It could be the Patriots.
It probably will be the Patriots. Oh, you mean like to represent in the Super Bowl?
Yeah, it could be the Patriots. I said that. I really didn't say that, but you got to realize, like, people don't really realize how good the Patriots are, right? Bill Belichick.
It really doesn't matter because it's going to be the Bengals.
Yeah, it might be the Browns. Baker Mayfield will get his shit together. All right, who are we gonna start with?
Let's actually. I want to start with the Browns because I have a comment.
Oh, for real?
Make.
Go for it.
I have a comment I want to make actually about Baker Mayfield.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see. The Browns. They get the Lions this week, and like I said, Thomas has been like belly aching for weeks now. That he's like, why can't the Browns play the Lions? Like the Bengals get this easy game and the Ravens get this easy game, and the Ravens actually lost that game, by the way. I will remind people of that forever. But if the clock runs out, the clock runs out, and that's it. Like sometimes when officials mess up, you can be like, oh, well, this could have happened and this could have happened. No, that would not have happened. Justin Tucker does not make a 71-yard field goal. It just does not happen. I promise you it does not happen. I'm not even sure they attempt it from 71 yards. I think they'll probably feel it's more likely that Lamar Jackson throws a Hail Mary touchdown.
That's great.
If they have to go from 71 yards. But, anyway, like I said, Bengals got the easy win. Ravens got a win, even though they really didn't. And then, the Steelers, Thomas was ahead of that game. Thomas was like, oh, of course the Steelers get to play the Lions, Like, when do we get to play the Lions? Well, now you get to play the Lions, Thomas.
You're going down, Lions. You're going down. But I will say this. I don't think that, I'm not sure if I want Baker Mayfield to play this game. I think he should rest for the Ravens.
That's fair.
Because I think you can beat the Lions because you get Nick Chubb back. All reports is pointing towards getting Nick Chubb back, so that's good. You're gonna get you have Johnson, you have Jerry Johnson. You have weapons. You can beat the Lions without the Lions' offensive line isn't really that great. So you rattle Jared Goff a lot. With Myles Garrett and Clowney. So I mean, if you want to tell,
Watt.
Yeah, well, if you want to beat the Lions you can beat the Lions with Case Keenum. He can run the game plan.
That's Mason Rudolph.
Well, Mason Rudolph isn't Case Keenum.
No, but I don't think he's too far off. I think the main difference is Case Keenum is I think Case Keenum is probably at a better advantage than Mason Rudolph because Case Keenum has the benefit of being currently in Kevin Stefanski's system, where prior to being with the Browns, that's where he had the most success was when it was in a Kevin Stefanski offense. If Mason Rudolph ever had the opportunity to be a starting quarterback in the NFL for some offensive coordinator, and then they went on to be a head coach somewhere, then I think Mason Rudolph might have some success as a backup quarterback with that coach.
Honestly, I wouldn't mind having Case Keenum as the starting quarterback, and then run the offense through either Dearness Johnson or Nick Chubb. It's just that the shoulder injury is one thing. Baker Mayfield proved to everybody against the Bengals. It was kind of windy that day. Baker Mayfield had some good throws in the wind. Yeah, nice little deep throw. So he proved that he could throw well with the shoulder injury. What we got to figure out is he could play well with the knee injury. And the knee injury is obviously it's not as severe the shoulder injury, obviously, but the knee injury is still significant. So you want to just rest it. Just give it. You don't want it to get worse. So in order to make sure the knee and the foot injury don't get worse, give me to simply rest. Just give yourself an extra week. Nobody, if people want to say what they're going to say. If Case Keenum plays well, he plays well. People want to say what they want to say. People want to say replace you. I have people out here saying that we should go out and get Jimmy Garoppolo. And by the way, let me say this. By the way, here's how I stand on Baker Mayfield. Unless you are either getting Russell Wilson or Aaron Rodgers or Deshaun Watson, scratch that list. Unless you're getting Russell Wilson or Deshaun Watson, I am not for getting rid of Baker Mayfield. Like, that's it. If y'all up here saying Matt Ryan or Jimmy Garoppolo, y'all need to shut that. Y'all need to shut that noise up. Seriously. Like, anybody who says Matt Ryan or Jimmy Garoppolo, you shut that noise up. But anyway, people gonna say whatever you want about Baker Mayfield. Whatever. Baker, just get healthy. You play better when you're more healthy. Everybody plays better when you're more healthy. And we need you against the Ravens. We could beat the Lions with Case Keenum. We could beat the Lions with Case Keenum. More specifically, we could beat the Lions with Nick Chubb and Dearness Johnson and Case Keenum, especially at home, especially in Cleveland, especially in the Edelmans. So that's what the Browns need to do. They need to run and pound that ball. But also the other problem that we're having is Myles Garrett is having a standoff with defense coordinator. He called the defense coordinator out in a press conference. He talked about adjustments, and I'm not sure. Man, dang, the Warriors is trying to push around the Cavs. This is messed up. Hate the Warriors. Anyway, that's a side fact. But the whole thing is Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield needs to rest, and I think the team would be great with just Dearness Johnson, Nick Chubb, and they need to gain their focus. They do not just need to beat the Lions; they need to beat the Lions. Like, they need to just dominate the Lions. They need a statement win to say, "Hey, New England was just a really good team that we stubbed our toe against." And I think that's a great way to look at it. That's what I've been saying all week is relax, Browns fans. It's not that our team's that bad. It's just that New England's that freaking good. And I'm not saying that we can't beat New England because we can, but I'm just saying that game specifically, Bill Belichick had a great game plan. Keep in mind, right before the bye, Tampa Bay got smoked by the Saints before beating them in the playoffs. And they had a week 11 bye too. So, I mean, it's just patience. Patience is the word.
The Patriots weren't 500 going into the bye, though.
Yeah, well, we're going to buy 7-5. We're good. We're going to buy 7-5. There's a chance.
Well,
they went to the buy 7-5.
You should beat the Lions. Now, I mean, obviously, you don't ever want to look past an opponent. The Bengals made that mistake earlier this year with the Jets. The Steelers make that mistake constantly with every bad opponent they face.
But I don't think they will. What's his name? Mr. Kevin Stefanski only lost one game after a back-to-back, and that was against the Arizona Cardinals. Or, I'm sorry, he only had one back-to-back loss, and that was against the Arizona Cardinals and the Chargers, I believe it was. The Chargers and the Cardinals, yeah. But usually against these bad teams, Kevin Stefanski takes advantage of it. So I really want to see. I think Kevin Stefanski's going to have a clean game plan, and whatever game plan they roll out, as long as they stick to the game plan, the script, they should be able to outsmart the Lions. I know the Lions will come in hungry, especially after that tie with the Steelers, but I think the Browns are going to also come out hungrier. They prove that they could win when there's anxiety and there's pressure with that win against the Bengals. This is the least difficult win than win against the Bengals. The Bengals are a good team, and they did what they had to do. So to prove they got the talent, they just got to go out there and showcase it. I think they will this weekend. I think they will.
Well, and I think, you were saying that you want Baker Mayfield to rest in favor of Case Keenum this week. Mm-hmm. And that's a fair perspective. I do think that's absolutely something that should possibly be taken into account because of Baker Mayfield's injury that he's playing through. But I will say, if you want to take the Baker Mayfield cycle, the famous Baker Mayfield cycle into
Yeah.
account here, it seems like this is like prime time for Baker Mayfield to explode and have a huge game.
Yeah, he always beat bad teams.
Well, I mean, he beats bad teams, but I mean, like if you look at the cycle, he's in the criticized by media portion of the cycle right now.
Yeah.
He played like crap against the Patriots. He's taking a bunch of crap for it now. I can see him currently developing that underdog mentality, so I have a feeling he's going to go out and destroy an inferior opponent.
Hey, you know what though? Dante made a point though, and I was thinking about this. Baker Mayfield plays better against divisional opponents. He does.
That is true. That is true.
He only had the only bad game.
I was going to tell that to the Steelers.
He had 2 bad games. He had 3 bad divisional games his entire career. 2 against Steelers and 1 against the Ravens. There was only one time the Ravens beat Baker Mayfield handily. There was only one time. And that was last year early in the season. Every other time Baker Mayfield played against the Ravens, he kept it close. His first game against the Ravens, he beat Joe Flacco. His second game, he took he went toe to toe with Lamar Jackson down to the wire. His rookie year. His third game, he beat them with Freddie Kitchens.
Mm-hmm.
His fourth game, well, okay, he did lose. He had a bad game in that fourth game. Well, he didn't have a bad game. Freddie Kitchens had a bad coach game. Yeah, that was horrible coaching that game. And then, so he only had one bad game against the Ravens. That was the game last year where he got blown out. Other than that, he's been playing well against the Ravens. So, Baker Mayfield shows up in those divisional games.
Well, hopefully he can show up against the Lions.
Hopefully,
because
I think
honestly, I think you don't think he's going to play.
I think he is.
You think he is, right? And hopefully he shows up against the Lions. I mean, I can't imagine why he wouldn't. I think this should be a pretty significant Browns win. But if it's not, this could be an interesting rest of the season for the Browns. You got the Ravens in back-to-back games, then the Raiders, Packers, Steelers, Bengals. You don't have this is your last gimme game of the year.
I know it feels like the second gimme game of the year, the second and only gimme game. Really?
Yeah, I mean,
for real.
It's been a bit of a tough schedule for every AFC North team, I think.
Yeah. I think the people that. But not just Baker Mayfield, the whole team as a whole. Because honestly, Baker Mayfield played bad, but I blaming the whole loss on Baker Mayfield. I think it's a gross calculation of something that was more apparent that game against the Patriots. The Browns didn't come out and play with any energy against the Patriots. So that includes the receivers, that includes the running back. The only person who did play with energy was Dearness Johnson. We talked about this. So right. I think that the whole team got to show up. Jarvis Landry hasn't been playing that well this year. And he's been getting touches and targets. So we just got to figure things out. This is a get right game. This is a game you go out, you execute your game plan, and you win.
Well, and that's what they need to do because they need to get themselves mentally right for this brutal schedule they got coming up.
Yeah, brutal's right.
But anyway, let's go ahead and jump on to the Bengals. Who I mean, you want to talk about
game?
I don't know about that. I mean, if we're gonna say that, then shouldn't the Browns have a gimme game next week, or not next week? When they play the Raiders at some point this year?
Yeah, I think the Raiders are going to collapse.
Yeah, so I mean, then maybe that's a gimme game. But see, okay, so I agree with you. I do think the Raiders are kind of in the middle of collapsing right now, and by the time they get it figured out, then they're gonna kind of be already out of the playoff race by then. But see, the thing is, for the Bengals, you got to go win this game. Like you just have to, you put yourself in a position where, I mean, the whole must win game is such a cliche that who knows what it even really means anymore. But the way that they've played the last 2 weeks, where they screwed up against the Jets, and they really should have won that game, but they let the Jets right back in it, even though they had an 11-point lead in the fourth quarter. And then they just they absolutely forgot to show up against the Browns. So, I mean, I know that's only 2 games, but, suddenly you're kind of what's going on here? Because, I mean, you also had that weird game against the Bears earlier in the season. So, I mean, you're sitting here with 4 losses when you really didn't need to have 4 losses. You got 5 wins, and things are going all right. But I mean, you got to go put this Raiders team away because this Raiders team, as we've seen, they lost to the Giants and then they got blown out by the Chiefs. This Raiders team is clearly feeling the sting of all of these off-field distractions. I mean, I don't want to make light of the Henry Ruggs situation, but there was that. Then there was the John Gruden situation where he's just an idiot and a jerk. And then there's the Damon Arnett situation where he's just an idiot. And like like 3 major players in this locker room just vanished, goodbye. And I mean, that takes a toll on players' mentalities. And it looks like it's been it especially with an interim coach in Rich Bisaccia, like trying to lead the charge and everything. It looks like it's been taking a toll on them. And the Bengals cannot let this week be the week that the Raiders get their confidence back. Because I mean, it can still happen. The Raiders are still a very talented football team. The reason they're losing all these games is because they're just the reason that they're just completely mentally gone right now is because of all this crazy stuff that's been happening. It's not because they're a bad football team. So I mean, here's the thing: if you let the Raiders feel like they can get into this, if you let the Raiders feel like that they're a better team than you, then they're going to pounce on you. The Raiders are not an easy pushover team, but you can, if you go out and you take care of business, everything's going to be good. But if you give them too much of a chance, they can easily come back and bite you. So if the Bengals come out of this on a 3-game losing streak, and they end up at 5-5 after they started 5-2, that's not good.
Yeah, that wouldn't be good. That wouldn't be good. That you go back to that Jets loss.
Exactly.
Mike
the
White.
Jets lost that really should have, even with Mike White having a 400-something yard game, the Bengals still played well enough to win that game up until the end.
But see, look, I'm thinking positive about this though. You go into a bye. This is Joe Burrow's first full season, second season in the league. You have a chance to kind of go over things in the bye. The bye is the ultimate booster shot. Now I know you said a couple podcasts ago that the Bengals do historically bad after a bye, but I don't think so. I don't think it's going to happen this year.
Well, they did with Marvin Lewis. I'm not saying that that's who they are permanently. I mean, they have under Zach Taylor, but the team's also been really bad under Zach Taylor, so it's kind of hard to identify.
Yeah,
it's hard to identify what trends are real with Zach Taylor just yet.
Exactly. So all I'm just going to say is I really do think the bye is going to help y'all. Mm-hmm. I really do think the bye is going to help y'all. I think the bye is going to be a chance for Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase to rekindle their relationship again and come back even stronger. So yeah, I really like the bye.
Well, that and you've got an opportunity for Joe Mixon and this offensive line to really get some confidence behind them because this maybe not in the passing game because the Raiders have a pretty good defensive line, but the Raiders have been awful against the pass or against the run this year. So
yeah, and people get healthier too.
Right. So I think Joe Mixon has a chance to go out and have an absolutely baller game this week. Mm-hmm. It'd be nice to see Joe Burrow have a good game too, but I really think that this could be a big Joe Mixon game. So if you got Joe Mixon in fantasy, I'd suggest starting him this week.
I think it'd be a big game for Joe Mixon too. So Joe Mixon, I think Joe Mixon is a dynamic runner who's always underestimated by the national narrative. I think Joe Mixon is such a elite running back. I think that he has the skills and the makeup to be an elite running back. And it's all about doing what they can to make sure that he becomes that elite running back. I believe he had some injuries that he was battling at the beginning of the year. So the bye will help him regain health and regain focus going into the rest of the season. I'm really excited to see what Joe Mixon can do against a team like the Raiders.
And like just a little bit of a underrated thing here. You might be seeing Chris Evans a little bit more of him.
I love Chris Evans
here too. Because I mean, don't forget he might be getting a little bit healthier. They've actually been working him in as potentially seeing if he can do some like kick returning because we lost Brandon Wilson for the year, who was our main kick returner. So I think Darius Phillips is the guy who's going to be slotting in that position, but you might see Chris Evans if Chris Evans can get it done.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. Chris Evans is my favorite pick for underrated player of the week. He's my underrated player of the year. This offense is averaging 40 something. This offense is putting up 30 points a game, 40 points a game. They put up 40 against the get the offense going, man. Like, those bombs to Jamar Chase, man, that's elite. Then Uzama, the tight end. Uzama.
God damn it, Thomas.
He's a beast. I like him.
Yeah, no, he's good. The thing about Jamar Chase is, I think Jamar Chase is going to have a huge second half of the year. I really do. Because if you look at the way that opposing teams are playing against him, they're not trying to shut him down the way that you kind of expected teams were going to try to shut him down with how good of a season he had. I just think him and I think Burrows had he's had some sort of mental block in recent weeks. I don't know exactly what's up, but I think I think him and Jamar Chase's chemistry's been off. So I think coming out of this bye week, I think Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase are going to kind of reconnect, and I could really see Jamar Chase having a really strong second half of the year, and partially just because I don't think opposing defenses are really quite yet making enough of an effort to stop him.
But who will be the cornerback matchup against Jamar Chase? Desmond Trufant?
Trufant? You all know who Desmond Trufant is?
I have no idea who Desmond Trufant is. I can't pronounce his name. Why? Who is he?
I mean, he's like, if I have the correct Trufant here. No, I'm thinking of Marcus Trufant. Desmond Trufant is Marcus Trufant's little brother. And he's been a solid. He was a first round draft pick by the Falcons. He was solid for a while. I guess he's been kind of bouncing between teams for the last couple years, as in this year and last year. But I mean, he was a solid. He was like a lockdown starter for the Falcons for years.
So what you're saying is there isn't a corner.
I'm shocked that he's been bouncing around. He must have gotten hurt or something.
So you're saying there's not a corner on the Oakland Raiders roster that could guard Jamar Chase?
I think Desmond Trufant could.
He's a force man.
Clearly something's been going on with him lately, so maybe he can't. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, you look at you got they got Casey Hayward.
Yeah, that's the first thing.
Casey Hayward's good.
All right, well, shout out to Casey Hayward.
So Casey Hayward will probably be taking on Jamar Chase, and he'll probably do pretty well.
Okay, well, there you go.
But yeah, I mean, the rest of their cornerback room is Desmond Trufant, who's apparently not even starting, and I can't figure out why. He was a great cornerback for a while.
The whole thing is you're going against a team that just lost 2 in a row, just like you guys have, and this is gonna be a game for both of y'all to kind of measure where both teams are at. But I really do think that this is a game where the Bengals are gonna get back on track. Who's playing home this game? Are y'all playing home or are they playing home?
No, it's in Las Vegas.
I still think y'all win. I still think y'all win.
Yeah, I think first of all, home field advantage, like I said, hasn't really meant a whole lot in the NFL this year.
I think buys do.
Well, I mean, yeah, but I mean, as a Bengals fan, I'm still a little wary of buys because buys were not a good thing in the Marvin Lewis era. But we'll see exactly what happens with the Bengals as far as the Zach Taylor era and bye weeks go. But I feel like the Bengals should win this game, and if they do, they'll be 6-4, and you can probably go ahead and buy your playoff ticket if that's the case. I mean, if the Bengals are 6-4 and they have a tiebreaker over the Raiders, I think it probably you can figure the Bengals will probably come out the rest of the season with a with a playoff caliber record.
Okay.
What do the Bengals have the rest of the year? Bengals schedule after the Raiders, they play the Steelers. They'll beat the Steelers, I think.
Yeah.
And then
Gotta
they
beat
got
the
the
Steelers.
Chargers. I think that's
Gotta
another
beat the
one. I think
Chargers.
I think the Chargers have just not been looking as good lately. So
The Chargers
I'd say-
started hot, but I think they're going to
I'd
start
say
to
at
come out.
at the least the Bengals should be favored in that one if they do what I think they'll do the next 2 weeks.
Kansas
Then you
City's
got
going to win
the
AFC West.
49ers could be interesting. The 49ers in Cincinnati and then the Broncos in Denver. Those two games could be interesting, I think. Those two games,
49ers
those two
gonna
teams
be
have kind
tough.
of been wild cards lately.
Yeah.
Then you got the Ravens, who the Bengals have already proven that they can beat, and this one will be in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Then you got the Chiefs in Cincinnati, which the Chiefs kind of look like they're kind of on the comeback lately. So, you never know with that one. But and then you got the Browns. You got the rematch with the Browns. I don't see any reason why we can't win that one. So, I mean, like I think worst case scenario here, you're looking at 3-2, 4-2. Ugh. Well, okay. I guess worst case scenario, you're looking at 4-4, which puts the Bengals at 9-8. So that's not great.
Yeah, but I don't
Probably not
know
making the
because
playoffs if you're probably not making the playoffs if you finish 9-8. But if you beat even one of those teams that I said they might have an issue with, and we're talking about teams like the 49ers and the Broncos, which have been like super inconsistent this year. So I mean that puts you at 10-7, and I think that's probably enough to make the playoffs.
No, I think. See, okay, so like, and here's why I disagree with people. Well, a lot of people where they're looking at the record. So people when they look at the AFC, they look at all those teams that are at the top, and they're like, all right, so you're gonna need 10, 11 wins to make it to the AFC playoffs. I think it's gonna be less than that because I think what's gonna happen is teams got to play each other. And I think teams are gonna be losing. I think it's that simple to say. Like, people are going to be beating up on each other, and the record to get in is going to become lower because there's no real dominant team in the
I don't think it's
AFC.
gonna be 9-8 though.
No, I don't think it's going to be
I don't
9-8,
think
but I think you might be getting in with 10 wins. I think a
that's what
10-win
I'm
team.
saying. I
I think a 10-win team. At first, a lot of people were saying that you had. I think a 10-win team can make it to the playoffs this year. Because I think
that's what I'm saying. I'm saying worst case scenario. I think the Bengals go 4-4 the rest of their season.
Yeah.
Which would put them at 9-8 and probably not in the playoffs at that point. But if you make that 5-3 at the very least, and you win one of those games that's maybe a bit of a question mark, then I think that'll be enough to make it to the playoffs.
Okay.
Especially if that one game that I was talking about comes against a team like the Broncos, for example, because that's going to be a big part of your competition to make it. To the playoffs in the first place. Well, I guess depending on what the Broncos do the rest of the season, but I mean, right now it looks like they're going to at least be in the mix.
Yeah, they're a very up and down team.
Yep. Although I will say, we're saying like they're up and down because they just lost to the Eagles, but maybe the Eagles are better than we thought.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, like, they're still a very up and down team. Let's be right.
That's probably true. All right, so let's go ahead now and move on to the fantasy league.
Okay.
Kind of do a quick little recap of what's going on. Not a recap, but a preview of what we're expecting to see from that. So let's see. After last week, the standings are really muddled up. Our fantasy league is getting just as muddy as the real NFL. It's weird. I was once the number one seed in this league, and I was holding on to it. It wasn't a fluke either. I was doing really well for a while. Now I'm the number 5 seed, and I'm I'm in danger of I'm just above the bot. I'm in danger of being out of the playoff race now.
Yeah, you got 5 on it.
Do what?
You got 5 on it.
I have 5. I'm number 5.
No, you got 5 on it. You never heard that song? You never heard that song?
No.
I got 5 on it. You never heard that song?
Nope.
You never heard I got 5 on it?
No. I don't even know
Cow,
what you're
no
talking
way.
about.
No way. Have you never heard that song?
I don't even know what you're talking about.
There's a song that goes like, I got 5 on it.
Okay.
Oh my God, you never heard that song.
If you say so.
Oh my God, you never heard that song before. Oh man, Cow. Cow. Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
I give you culture later.
So, yeah, right now I'm number 5 in the current standings, which is good enough for a playoff spot, but just barely. Thomas, you, however, are second to last in the entire league.
I got
However,
last
to be
on it.
fair, right now there is only a 4-game difference between the worst team in the league and the best team in the league right now. Like the best team in the league right now is Jordan Heiser's Jungle Bungles, and he's 7-3-0. The worst team is Christopher Deaton's All About That Bosa, and he's 3-7-0. So like everybody's still in the mix for anything right now. Like anything could happen. This is a crazy, honestly, a really crazy league.
I like crazy.
Now, Thomas, you are currently in the lead right now for the for you are currently in the lead for your game right now, but you're projected to
bro.
get your ass whooped.
Let me set my lineup.
Because yeah, you need to set your lineup. You need to put a running back in, and you probably should substitute out Matt Gay, who isn't playing.
Yeah, Matt Gay, you ain't playing.
Actually, while I'm at it, I'll probably go ahead and set my lineup because I probably haven't set mine either. Let's see. What do we got? I got Kirk Cousins in over Kyler Murray. You know, is that the correct thing? Yeah, I think he's out.
Yeah, Kyler Murray's gonna be
They're
hurt
saying-
this week.
They're saying questionable. Could miss third straight game. But you know what? And I'm gonna wait until Sunday to make that decision. I'm gonna leave Kirk Cousins in there for now. Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Joe Mixon, AJ Dillon, George Kittle, Mike Williams. No, you know what? I think I like that lineup actually. Maybe I might sub out Kansas City's defense, but I think I actually like my lineup this week.
Okay.
Wish I'd been paying attention like that the last 2 weeks. I'm sitting here breaking down the fantasy league every single week, and I still forget to sub players out. How does that happen?
Same way I do.
Oh man. All right. So, what do you think, Thomas? Which defense should I pick up?
What defense are available?
We got San Francisco, Los Angeles Chargers, Seattle, Cincinnati, New York. Those are the top 5 teams right now. New York Jets, by the way. So for some reason, they're considered a top 5 defense, even though they've been terrible. Top 5
San
available
Francisco, Seattle. San Francisco, Seattle.
Chargers, Bengals, Jets.
I think the Bengals gonna have some turnover this week, but I think San Francisco's defense starting to heat up. Who's San Francisco?
They are playing the Jaguars.
Yeah, San Francisco.
Yeah, it's probably true. I'll go ahead and put San Francisco in, but I keeping an eye on the Bengals though. I'm gonna be salty if.
Yeah, I have the Bengals defense in my other league. I do have the Bengals defense in my other league, and it's been actually been doing well for me. Shout out to the Bengals defense, y'all. Kareem Hunt comes back in 2 weeks. That's exciting. Put him in running back.
All right, so my game, I'm playing against the bot. So hopefully I don't screw it up like so many people have this year. You know what's interesting?
I beat the bot.
Thomas, right now, the bot is the number 6 team in the in the standings right now.
Yeah,
The bot is 5-5. Now I'm projected to kick the bot's ass this week.
Yeah, beat the bot.
I'm projected at 122 points. He's projected at 89.56. So, you know, hopefully I can pull that off because that'd be kind of embarrassing.
Yeah, no, beat the bot because the bot's been doing too much. And you beat the bot and I win my game, then me and the bot have the same record.
Yeah. Hey guys, I need to take a second to tell you about NordVPN real quick. I'm sure you've all heard about it because They're everywhere, and it's for a good reason. This is the absolute best, sleekest, and easiest to use VPN out there. Trust me, I've used a few different VPN services for various reasons, and this is the one that I settled on because honestly, it's like I said, it's the sleekest and easiest to use. It takes 10 seconds to just go get it set up, get connected, and get yourself on a new server somewhere around the world, and then you have access to all of these regionally blocked things. And in addition to that, I personally get a little weirded out by everyone with the basic knowledge of systems and hacking having access to my information. So it's really nice to have a kind of a buffer between that too. There's also a wide world of regionally blocked content out there that's the only reason you're not able to access it is because you live in a certain country where this stuff isn't available. So one service I really like is called NFL Game Pass International. It's meant for the international community. It's not available in the United States. But if you're a United States citizen and you use NordVPN to go connect to, I usually use the Ireland or the Brazil server, and suddenly I'm connected and I'm able to watch all these games. You can use basically any country where the service is actually available. Then I pull up the broadcast, sit back, watch the game. Any game. They have all of the NFL games throughout the entire season on this service. And then you also get access to all the normal NFL Game Pass stuff too. So, replays, all 22, the kind of stuff that's, some people just enjoy having NFL Game Pass for in the first place. I do exactly that every Monday and Thursday night when we do our live streams, where me and Thomas make our predictions or talk about the predictions that we made. And we do it during the Monday night and Thursday night games where we're watching the game and reacting. And the way that I have access to that is I have an NFL Game Pass International. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do, guys. I'm going to leave a link down below in the description. And if you go click that link, it'll take you to NordVPN's website, and it'll automatically get you 69% off your first 3 months for free. That's only $3.67 a month, guys. For all the wide world of access and protection that VPNs give you, I think you can spare $3.67 a month. To me, that's a really good deal. And not only, if you go do that, it helps support our channel, and like I said, helps you guys get access to the best VPN network out there. Seriously, I really recommend it. So go down on the link in that description and get 69% off your first 3 months of NordVPN for free. All right, Thomas. So let's go ahead and move on to the state of the AFC North.
Oh yeah.
So, the Ravens play against the Bears this week, which could potentially be a bit of a tough game for them.
Lamar's sick, isn't he?
Well, there's a blueprint now of how to beat the Ravens, and if any team out there has the personnel to just blitz the hell out of you, it's the Bears.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So I think the Bears defense could see some success against Lamar Jackson this week, and I also think Justin Fields could take advantage of a really suspect-looking Ravens defense for sure.
Yeah, Fields is heating up, man. Fields is heating up. It's fun to watch, and Fields he's showing everybody that he's probably him and Mac Jones. Mac Jones I think is a little better, but
Mac Jones is the clear. Best quarterback. And
he also had the best situation.
In fact, if Jamar Chase, if my prediction turns out wrong and Jamar Chase doesn't have a huge second half of the year, Mac Jones could actually supplant Jamar Chase for Rookie of the Year, just because him being a quarterback and
well, I think he's also in the best situation.
Who, Mac Jones?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, he's the perfect quarterback for Bill Belichick.
But
Tom Brady too.
Because the whole thing is that this is the Patriots are a championship roster. They've been a champion. They just had one off year for real, where a lot of their players opted out because of COVID. Yeah. I don't know why everybody's so surprised about the Patriots being good. This team literally went to the Super Bowl 2 years ago, and it's not like they had a lot of turnover. They still got the same coaching staff and all the same things. The only thing that they really switched out was a quarterback.
Well,
twice.
Yeah, and that's the main thing. And Cam Newton, as much as he seems to still have it sort of like whatever it is. Cam Newton still kind of has it, but it
Uh,
wasn't what fit in New England, which is why I thought it was weird. I was like, Cam Newton on the Patriots, really? Like really that guy? Like, that's the guy who is going to fit in Bill Belichick's system and going to make the Patriots win game. Okay, all right, fine, whatever, whatever you say. Let's see how this works, and it didn't. It didn't because that is just not the way Cam Newton operates.
yeah. Ah. Yeah. Yeah. Mac Jones is really good.
Mac Jones is really good, and like I said, I'm not sure. I think that Mac Jones is better than Jamar Chase, just overall. But at the same time, most awards like that do tend to go to quarterbacks. So if there's a quarterback who's like, you know, if Jamar Chase doesn't make it clear that he's the best choice, then he probably won't win it.
No, Jamar Chase might explode for the second half of the season. But I'm with you. They're gonna go. They're gonna give it to the quarterback because he's the quarterback.
But anyway, getting back to the Ravens. Speaking of teams that kind of have a brutal schedule coming up, the Ravens play. Let's see, who do they play?
They play Bears. They
Really?
play us. They play Wait, hold up. Baltimore Ravens schedule. I don't think it's gonna be an easy game for them this weekend. The Bears have proven to be. They lost to the Dolphins, and the Bears are a better team than the Dolphins. Lamar's been sick all
but
week.
honestly, Thomas, the Ravens are a better team than the Dolphins. Like, let's not act
Yeah, I know.
like that is really indicative of who's a better team or not.
Well, they lost to the Dolphins partly because I think they lost to the Dolphins because they went overtime with the Vikings. Was the Vikings they went overtime with? Yeah, they went overtime with the Vikings, and then they played the Dolphins on Thursday. I think that was just a strong turnover. They do have a mini bye, so I think that mini bye is going to help. But after they play the Bears, they got the Browns, Steelers, Browns again. Then they got the Packers, then they got the Bengals, then they got the Rams. Man, they play the Rams? Yeah. 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 They play the Packers and the Rams.
What about the Rams? You mean the Rams that we just watched get blown out by the 49ers?
Yeah, but okay. I think by the second last week of the season, the Browns should be clicking again.
Well, we'll see. Yeah.
Of course the Ravens got the Rams at home. Of course they got the Rams at home. I like, who got
I don't
home?
think that's gonna matter that much.
No, see, I'm not worried about the crowd. I'm thinking about the flight. That's like one of the longest flights in the NFL.
That's fair.
Going from Southern California to the Northeast.
So the
That's
Steelers. Wow. I mean, we already gave you 10 Shades of Hell for tying with the Lions on the last episode, but golly.
I can't wait for the Steelers to collapse.
I think it's been happening. I think it's been happening since since the end of that 11-game winning streak last year. And honestly, I thought the beginning signs of it were happening during that. And really, you could make the argument that the Steelers' collapses have been happening since 2017.
Well, I mean, if I got my wish, they're collapsing and they're collapsing and then freaking they'll collapse and then freaking the Browns. Yeah, well, that'd be great. That'd be great, wouldn't it be?
That's probably not going to happen, but that would be great, yeah.
Nah, they probably find their quarterback soon because of the Steelers. But hopefully they collapse.
Well, they're not going to find. I don't think they're going to find a proper quarterback in this upcoming draft class. This upcoming draft class is terrible for quarterbacks.
Yeah, we say that, and then some guy comes out of nowhere and goes like, "Oh, I'm a beast."
I haven't seen anybody yet.
But it does look bad though. They always find some sucker to go number one.
It might be Malik Willis at this point, but first of all, I don't think Malik Willis, even if he does fall to the Steelers, I don't think he fits the Steelers system.
The Jared Goff, Carson Wentz draft year.
Sort of. sort of. Except I think that one was expected to be better than it turned out to be.
So, are we expecting Ben Roethlisberger to play Sunday? I'm hearing on off port reports that he may or may not play.
I've heard both. It seems kind of the general like perspective seems like they're uncertain. The Steelers actually, I believe, are preparing as though Mason Rudolph is going to play. Now, that's not necessarily saying that Ben Roethlisberger is not going to play, but that is to say that they do believe. It does seem they believe there's a genuine chance that he might not play. I'll be honest with you. I don't think it matters. I think Ben Roethlisberger is just as bad as Mason Rudolph. I think what's hurting their offense more, right? Like what hurt their offense more with the Lions was the fact they didn't have Chase Claypool. I don't think it was Ben Roethlisberger.
Who they play this week?
Chargers.
Oh yeah. And on Sunday night. Oh yeah. Well, you know what though?
They ain't gonna tie this week.
No, I really hope.
Also, T.J. Watt still isn't practicing, so you don't know.
Oh,
how long he's
and they playing at the Chargers. Yes. They gotta take that long ass flight.
Yeah, I would be shocked if the Steelers come away with the win this week. Honestly.
Yeah.
You're probably not going to have Minka Fitzpatrick. You might not have Ben Roethlisberger. You're probably not going to have T.J. Watt. You might not have Chase Claypool. I mean, it's like beyond the fact that I think the Chargers could beat the Steelers at full strength. They're not even going to be at like a quarter strength. Like most of their star players are either questionable or out.
Yeah, going down Pittsburgh.
I cannot imagine they're not. And then you look at the rest of the Steelers' schedule, right? They play after the Chargers. They get Bengals, Ravens, Vikings, Titans, Chiefs, Browns, Ravens. Like, I mean, if they win 2 games out of that next stretch, I'd be kind of surprised. So I mean, like a 7-9-1 finish, if not worse, sounds like it could really be what you're looking at for the Steelers this year. I mean, realistically, 6-10-1 could happen. Like, I mean, they can only win one more game the rest of the year for real.
Yeah. Well, I definitely think Ant's gonna be on. It looks like it's gonna be a Sunday night game too. So the Steelers like they better get embarrassed on Sunday night against the Chargers. That's gonna be fun.
What? They're playing Steelers Chargers on Sunday Night Football. Who made that decision?
The same people who made the decision to make the Browns Ravens play Sunday Night Football next week.
But that's a good game. Steelers Chargers is not a good game. Like the Steelers are awful. The Chargers are pretty good. I'm not sure if they're really quite juggernauts anymore, but the Chargers are fine. But the Steelers are awful. Like so,
all I know is the Steelers might get
game.
All I know is the Steelers might get their butt wipes.
We're on the butt wipe thing again.
It worked.
Jesus.
It worked.
All right, but anyway, I think that's pretty much all I've got for this week for the Battle of Ohio podcast. So thank you so much for listening, everybody. You can always find more of what I do at Kyle Phelps 92 on on Twitter, facebook.com/the Phelps. And then go check out my YouTube channel, which is just called Kyle Phelps. Putting out a lot of content. Got a bunch of ideas about different kinds of content I'm going to put out, stuff I'm going to be experimenting with, and we're going to see if it works or if it doesn't work. And check me out on Sunday. I'm going to be live streaming the Bengals-Raiders game, so you want to come by and see that. Hopefully the Bengals do better than the last time I live streamed one of their games, which was the loss to the Jets.
That was great.
But anyway, you can find
Good old
Thomas
Mike
at T_. Fuck you. You can find Thomas at T_star94 at on Twitter and Instagram, and on TikTok and YouTube, you can find them on as the Thomas J Network. So I mean, definitely stuff worth checking out. Go check out our friends at Around the Block network, atbnetwork.com, where you'll find coverage for lots of different NFL teams. I do a lot of coverage for the Bengals for them, and they're also being kind enough to give us the tools to have a more proper sounding podcast, like having access to StreamYard and then being available on Spotify and Apple and all that stuff. So before Around the Block, this was basically something that we only did on YouTube and used like Zoom for, and God, Zoom was awful.
Yeah, Zoom wasn't great.
Like, it almost feels like a lifetime ago that we were using Zoom, but like I don't miss it at all.
Oh no, this is way better.
Zoom is terrible.
Shout out to the non-Zoom users, y'all. You Skype users and you StreamYard users, y'all.
Well, Skype would have been just as bad as Zoom, honestly. Like, StreamYard, for what we're trying to do,
StreamYard's fantastic.
Yeah,
StreamYard's
given
great.
us everything we've needed so far.
Oh yeah, StreamYard's the stuff.
There's a couple of features that I wish it had that would be just kind of like nice for what we're trying to do, but like on the whole, you see like these professional looking, maybe not professional looking graphics and everything, but like better than what we had before.
It's so much better.
And that's 100% because we're using StreamYard. Like these are not effects here that we're putting on after everything's edited. This is just something that StreamYard lets us use as an overlay for the actual thing.
Oh yeah, StreamYard stuff.
Yeah, it's fantastic. We're not even sponsored by them. We're just
chilling. Shout out to StreamYard.
Using their thing. But anyway, guys, thanks for listening. I'll leave y'all with a Who Dey.
Go Browns. Go Cleveland Browns.
Why are we doing that again?